Now at 4, breaking news in Linwood, where there is a report of multiple overdoses.
Stu Mundell and Sky 9 are live over the scene. Stu?
Well, Eileen, it's happening out here, the 4200 block of Cortland in the Linwood area earlier this afternoon. Deputies were called here as well, but also LA County Fire. They said there were 3 patients in full arrest. That means their hearts had stopped. We're hearing that one person was taken into custody by deputies arriving here on scene. Now, the people that needed the medical care, they've all been taken to the hospital. Right now, the house remains empty. Deputies are out here from the Linwood station. They're starting their investigation into exactly what these people took to cause this type of situation. Live in Sky 9 over Linwood, I'm Stu Mundell. Back to you two in the studio.
All right, Stu, thank you. The man who became a billionaire by creating Facebook faced a tough crowd as lawmakers demanded to know how tens of millions of users' personal information was taken.
KCAL9 Sandra Mitchell is live in the newsroom with the grilling Zuckerberg faced on the Hill. Sandy?
Yeah, Juan, you're right. It was a grilling, a big mistake. That's how Mark Zuckerberg described his company's role in that data scandal. He also told lawmakers, "I'm sorry," and he said Facebook is already making changes to improve. Mark Zuckerberg faced a mob of photographers as he took his seat before Congress. The Facebook chief executive apologized again for allowing his social media platform to be used for harm.
I think it's pretty much impossible, I believe, to start a company in your dorm room and then grow it to be at the scale that we're at now without making some mistakes.
Lawmakers at a joint hearing of the Senate Judiciary and Commerce Committees want more than an apology. They're looking for solutions after Facebook allowed users' personal information to get into the hands of British consulting firm Cambridge Analytica.
As you've said, this is not likely to be an isolated incident.
If you and other social media companies do not get your act in order, none of us are going to have any privacy anymore.
Zuckerberg says he's hiring thousands more people to work on Facebook security. But on Capitol Hill, some lawmakers say there should also be outside oversight.
If Facebook and other online companies will not or cannot fix the privacy invasions, then we are going to have to. We, the Congress.
Zuckerberg insists that Facebook can handle its own oversight.
If we find that someone improperly used data, we're going to ban them from Facebook and tell everyone affected.
Outside the Capitol, protesters delivered a message for Zuckerberg. He's going to have to win back the public's trust. And we heard this a lot today when Zuckerberg couldn't or wouldn't answer a question. He said, "I'll have someone on my team get back to you." We're going to hear a lot more from him tomorrow when he testifies before the House Energy and Commerce Committees. Lena?
All right, Sandra, thank you. And coming up later in this newscast, it's Tech Tuesday. We're going to talk to our tech expert about her top takeaways from today's hearing on Capitol Hill with Mark Zuckerberg.
It's another record-setting day here in the Southland as warm temperatures continue to stick around. Here's a live look outside now. This is our Santa Monica camp. Look how nice it looks there along the coast. Spring break may be over, but the pier has been packed today. Now for more on our first forecast, here's meteorologist Amber Lee.
Hi, Juan. We're still waiting for the final numbers because the hottest part of the day is happening as we speak now. So we should be getting those final numbers in the next few minutes, probably within the next 20 minutes. But out the door right now, you can see that temperatures are still above average, 73 for the airport. And we're looking at these westerly winds coming in. So it is giving us a nice breeze coming in about 13 miles per hour. A lot of our coastal communities dropped down 10 to 15 degrees compared to yesterday. But it's our inland communities that still remain pretty hot, and that's because that high pressure system is still over the area, but it was moving off to the east. So a lot of the Inland Empire and Orange County communities under some very hot temperatures. 95 right now for San Bernardino, 93 for Riverside, 82 for downtown LA, and also 91 right now for Van Nuys, upper 80s for Burbank. But if you want to look at this time 24 hours ago, we're at least down by a few degrees in some areas, anywhere from 5 to 7. And again, that's because that high pressure system is slowly moving away from us. Yesterday, it basically peaked, and then so we're looking at temperatures a little bit cooler in some spots, and we're also looking at that wind starting to pick up, especially that sea breeze, that onshore flow really starting to push in. No advisories right now, but as we head into the next 24 hours, that's all going to change because with that system leaving, another system is coming in right behind it. So we're expecting some very gusty conditions. I'll tell you just how strong the winds are going to get and what that means for our long-term forecast for the next few days. Back to you.
All right, Amber, we'll talk to you later. Mr. mystery involving a family from Valencia. Their relatives say they went on vacation in Oregon and were supposed to drive down to San Jose, but they never showed up.
KCAL9's Randy Page live in Santa Clarita, where he spoke with neighbors and got some sobering information from the California Highway Patrol. Randy?
That's right, Juan. This is a mystery, and there are some clues. Those clues point to what could be a tragic ending for the family who live in this Valencia home. A single candle stands on the driveway where the Thadapili family lives, while hope for their safe return begins to fade. This video, taken by a security camera mounted on Matt Lemus' house across the street, chronicles the last day they were here. It was March 30th at 7:40 in the morning when Suma Thadapili pulls out of her garage in the family's red Honda Pilot as she takes her children to school. 15 minutes later, she's back. And it just might be that your security video captured the last time you'll see this family in this neighborhood.
Yeah, I thought about that earlier. That was the last time you see the kids, you see them, and it's not great.
And when you look at their Facebook picture, it's heartbreaking.
It is, because we see them on the daily, running around playing outside, and to think that could be potentially them it's upsetting.
Now, on Friday, the same day the family went missing, a Honda Pilot, a red Honda Pilot, fitting exactly the description of their car, was seen going into the Eel River. That is on Friday. The river was swollen. It was a pounding rain, and the water there is so dangerous they can't get divers in, so they have not yet recovered that vehicle. It does, however, follow the same path, exactly the path that they would have taken between Portland and San Jose. So there are real concerns that could be what happened here. But it's worth noting, since they cannot get divers in the water and they really have not yet recovered that vehicle, they really don't know if it belongs to this family. What we do know is a car fitting their description went into the Eel River on exactly the same day they went missing. And divers are going to be looking for it just as soon as they can get in that cold, swollen river. Let's go back to you.
All right, Randy, thank you. California lawmakers shut down a bill today that would expand the definition of special circumstances in murder trials. The bill would include sexual orientation and gender as special circumstance categories for first-degree murders. The proposal comes after the violent murder of Blaze Bernstein, a gay 19-year-old student from Orange County. The Lake Forest teen was found stabbed multiple times in the back.
I believe we need to be consistent. If the definition of a hate crime includes sexual orientation and gender, it should also include in other categories where hate crime is included. I don't believe that any of these categories should be treated differently, and I don't believe anybody should be murdered just based on their sexual orientation or their gender.
Despite voting against it, the Senate Public Safety Committee has agreed to reconsider the bill.
In just a matter of hours, 2 more Orange County cities will consider jumping into the debate on the sanctuary state law. The Orange and Newport Beach City Councils are meeting this evening to decide whether to join the suit against SB 54. The legislation protects undocumented people from arrest and deportation. Last month, Los Alamitos City Council got the ball rolling with a vote to opt out of the state law. And since then, half a dozen Orange County cities have gone on the record to oppose it.
The president says all options are on the table as his administration considers its response to an alleged chemical attack in Syria. KCAL9's Terry Okita has the latest.
Syria's military is on high alert, preparing for a possible U.S.-led airstrike after Saturday's apparent chemical weapons attack on civilians in the town of Douma. Dozens died, including children.
Nothing's off the table.
President Trump vows to respond forcefully and canceled a trip to South America to focus on Syria. World leaders are in discussions with Mr. Trump on how to proceed.
If this is the responsibility of Assad's regime in Syria, then it's yet another example of the brutality and brazen disregard for their people.
President Trump says Russia or any other country found to be complicit in the attack will pay a price. Russia released this video, which it says shows no evidence of poisonous substances in Douma and is calling allegations of a chemical attack fake news. But Russian officials say they're willing to help arrange for chemical weapons experts to visit the site and investigate for themselves. As leaders decide what to do next, hundreds of Syrian rebels and their families are being bussed out of Douma. The fighters agreed to surrender and leave in exchange for the release of hundreds of pro-government hostages. Terry Okita, KCAL9 News.
White House Homeland Security Advisor Tom Bossert has resigned. According to sources, new National Security Advisor John Bolton pushed Bossert out of the door. Bolton wants to put his own person in that role, and President Trump apparently signed off on the move. Bossert's resignation was not expected. As recently as this past weekend, Bossert appeared on Sunday news shows to discuss the administration's potential response to the alleged chemical attack in Syria.
Back here, breaking news in Hollywood, where crews are responding to a fire.
Stu Mandel live above in Sky 9. Stu.
That's right, it's happening out here in Hollywood. This is going to be the 700 block of Gramercy, an apartment house fire. LA City Fire arriving here on scene. They did have some smoke in one of the units, and they were saying that the sprinklers may have been able to keep that fire in check. But when firefighters made their way inside that building and inside that unit, they do have one victim that they have taken out. Right now, they're still waiting for paramedics to get to that one civilian that was harmed in this fire. They're also saying this fire might be suspicious circumstances, but right now the fire does seem to be out. One victim being treated by LA City fire workers, and this is all happening in Hollywood, 700 block of Gramercy. I'm Stu Mandel in Sky 9. Back to you two in the studio.
All right, Stu, thanks. A day after the FBI raided the office, home, and hotel room of President Trump's personal lawyer, several lawmakers are warning the president about what he could do next. Michael Cohen said nothing today about federal agents confiscating business records and emails connected to his $130,000 payment to former porn star Stormy Daniels. She claims it was hush money to stay silent about her alleged affair with the president. Both Cohen and Mr. Trump denied it. When asked if he would fire special counsel Robert Mueller, the president said, "We'll see." Today, lawmakers sent him a warning.
If the president is thinking of using this raid to fire special counsel Mueller or otherwise interfere with the chain of command in the Russia probe, we have one simple message for him. Don't even think about it.
I'm not worried about Trump firing Mueller because I think he's smarter than that. I know he's frustrated. You'd be frustrated too if your personal attorney had his office raided.
When asked if Cohen is still the president's personal attorney, White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said she wasn't sure.
President Trump has been ramping up his tough talk when it comes to tariffs, and today China's president responded with a softer tone. In a speech on Tuesday, Chinese President Xi Jinping pledged to significantly lower tariffs on vehicle imports this year. Tariffs on foreign cars have been a key factor in rising U.S.-China tensions. Investors are hopeful that the U.S. and China can avert a trade war. The Dow rallied just over 400 points after the speech, finishing up 428 points at the end of the day. And President Trump responded to this morning's news via Twitter. Mr. Trump tweeted, "Very thankful for President Xi of China's kind words on tariffs and automobile barriers. Also his enlightenment on intellectual property and technology transfers. We will make great progress together."
Next here at 4, it's a big hole to fill. One of the busiest roads in Irvine collapses, forcing major traffic delays and an even bigger cleanup.
Plus, on the offensive, Bill Cosby's legal team wastes no time attacking his accuser on the second day of his retrial.
And children are forced to jump for their lives after a fire rips through a dance studio. More of this dramatic video next.